A ball is thrown into the air. Wala pa man tayo case number 3. At an angle of 30.0 degrees above the horizontal with an initial velocity. So meron daw tayong building. Meron tayong building. Okay? And then of course, na ground. Yan. So nada tayo building. And we have a ball. And that ball is projected at an angle. Ayun. So it is projected above the building. And then of course, it will go back to the ground. After some time na, it will reach the ground. Nandito na yung ball natin after some time. So this is what? Case number 3. Wait, ano na? Case number 3. Sulat natin lahat ng given. First given, we have the angle 30 degrees above the ground. Above the ground, above the horizontal pala. Theta is equal to 30.0 degrees. And then we have the initial velocity, VI, is equal to 20.0 meters per second. And then we have the height of the building. Height of the building, so that's dy. dy is equal to negative 50.0 meters. Lagyan ng negative because that's below the starting point. Good? Okay. So ano yung kailangan natin dito? Ang kailangan natin is the time to reach the ground. Kailangan natin is time. Can we use equation number doon sa case number 1? Yung time is equal to negative 2 VIY over G. Can we use this equation? No, hindi pwede. Kasi nga alam natin na TA, for example, dito, highest point, meron tayong TA, meron din tayong TB. But alam natin na hindi sila equal. Tama? Kasi na hindi naman sila level. Nandito yung isa sa baba. So hindi sila equal, so that means we cannot use this equation. Hindi din natin pwede gagamitin yung equation for time na time is equal to square root of 2 dy over g. Kasi nga, this is not case number 2. Case number 3 man ito. Ito, gagamitan mo man sa case number 2, yung horizontal. Follow? So, hindi pwede ito. So, another equation yung gagamitin natin. Ayan. So, balik ka lang doon sa formulas. Ano ba sa formula ang mayroong time? Balik lang dito. Ano ba dito yung may time? Ito, dx. Meron ba tayong dx? Wala. So, hindi pwede. Meron ba tayong vfy? Sir, ito, dito. Sa taas. Pero later, isolve mo din ito. Remember, hindi natin pwede ito magagamit. So, no, hindi pwede yan. Meron ba tayong, ito, hindi pwede. Wala tayong choice. Check natin ang fourth equation. Do we have dy? Yes. Do we have viy? Yes. Later, masolve mo yan. So that means we can use this equation. Follow? Good. So again, the first step, solve for vix and viy. That's always the first step. So vix is cosine 30 multiplied by 20.0 meters per second. And then VIY is sine 30.0 multiplied by 20.0 meters per second. Good? And that gives us what? This should be 10.0 meters per second. And this should be, what is cos 30 times 20? That's 17.3. Three significant figures, pero lagyan natin ng isa pang digit para maiwasan ang errors. Yan. Okay, so again, we are going to use equation number 4. dy is equal to VIY times time plus 1/2 GT squared. Yes, Fitz, you are raising your hand.
Ay sir, nalang ko'y question sir ba?
Hmm.
Kanang ngano dili magamit ang ano sir, equation 2 sir na ang pwede man zero ang VFY sir.
Okay, thank you for that question, Fitz. So let's assume na gagamitin natin ang equation number 2, Fitz. So ang makukuha natin is time A. Pwede mo magagamit ang equation number 2 to solve for time A. Okay, so check na tayo sa time A. Now, the question is, how are you going to solve for time B? Okay? Pwede, how are you going to solve for time B? Para ma-solve mo si time B, hindi na pwede magagamit ang equation number 2. Kasi nga, ano na ngayon ang final velocity natin dito, banda? Tama? Ano na. So, we cannot use equation number 2. How about dy? Ito na equation. Can we use the fourth equation to solve for TB? Di ba? So, mag-duplicate yung process natin, Fitz. Mag-duplicate. Hello?
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Okay, so ma-duplicate na. So it will give us more effort. So isa na lang yung gagamit kasi given naman yung other variables. Pero kung hanapan mo siya ng way, okay lang, wala namang problema. Kasi kapag ito, ang kailangan mo maximum height, so hahanapin mo na naman yung height dito. Okay? Hahanapin mo naman yung dy, add mo naman lahat. So medyo mahirap yung process. So diretso na lang tayo dito para isang process na lang yung gagawin natin. So dy is equal to VIY times time plus 1/2 GP squared. So dy is what? Is negative 50.0. VIY, our VIY is 10.0 meters per second multiplied by time plus 1/2 G is negative 9.81 meters per second multiplied by T squared. Ayan. So negative 50.0 is equal to 10. Hindi ko na lang lagyan ng units ha. Para hindi tayo malito later. 10.0 T minus 4.905 T squared. Yan. Anong klaseng equation ito? Anong klaseng equation yan? This is what? This is quadratic equation. Follow? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan natin siya i-transform into the standard quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Diba? Ito yung standard natin. So, i-transpose lang natin. Transpose lang. So, that means, ano? That means, transpose na lang natin yung 50 dito sa other side of the equation. So, 0 equals 50.0 plus 10.0 t minus 4.905 t squared. So, meron na tayong quadratic equation in standard form in which ang a natin, si 4.905 kasi may squared, b is 10, c is 50. Follow? Sa oras na. Hapit na day time. Okay na. So how are we going to solve for time if we have a quadratic equation? Paano natin i-solve yung time? We are going to use the what? Quadratic formula. What is the quadratic formula? Negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Abi nyo, gumana na mo ni divided by 2a. Ayan. Di ba? Happy kayo. We are going to use the quadratic formula. Questions? Na-remember pa niyo ng quadratic formula? Sir, unsa naman ni sir? So, negative b, substitute lang diretso. Negative 10.0 plus minus square root of, siguro masulod, 10.0 squared minus 4 times a negative 4.905 times 50. Sulod. All over 2 divided by negative 4.905. Good? Okay, so this is negative 10.0 plus minus. What's the value of this 1 inside the radical sign? That's 10 squared. 4 times negative 4.905 times 50. Take the square root. That gives us 32. 10.0 squared minus times 4.9. Times 50. 32.88 divided by negative 9.81. Yeah, so we have two answers. Time is either negative 10 plus 32.88. We have negative 2.33 seconds, or we have time is equal to, di ba dalawa man yan, either positive or negative. Negative 10 minus 32.88 divided by negative 9.81. 4.37 seconds. Ano yung answer natin? Either of the two ba? We cannot have negative time, so hindi pwede ang negative. We can only answer the positive one. Okay? Questions? Clarifications? None? Sure? So time is equal to 4.37 seconds. Wala? Sige daw. What if mangutana ko? What if pangutana sa problem? What is the range? What if ang tinatanong range? Ano yung gagawin natin kapag range? Sige daw, may I ask? C. Saan ang pangutanon? Si Jose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ano yung formula natin for range, Jose?
Number 1 po.
Okay, very good. So, di ba napakadali lang? VIX times time. Ano yung VIX natin, Josie?
17.32 po.
32. O, di ba? Meters per second. Ano yung time?
4.37, sir.
4.37. Ganun lang. Easy. Di ba? What's your answer, Jose?
75.6884, sir.
Three significant figures, 75 point.
7 po.
O, di ba? Ganun lang kadali.